Hey guys, welcome back. A little late this week, sorry about that. It's been a little crazy catching up on orders, but I'm into the spring mood. So I thought I'd make a cane with some spring colors. To me, this is probably one of the hardest color range to work with, just because when you get your final cane, they're not dark. They don't really stand out because they're all pastels. So I thought what I would do was, not only would I use the pastels, I would take some dark coordinating color and adding it to some of it, and this way we'll have a nice little dark border around all our canes. So this is mauve. This is all Sculpey Premo. This is mauve, pale blue, pale green, sunshine yellow, and I made a pink with red and white. So we have those. So I'm going to add a little bit of purple to the mauve. Probably going to add a little bit of ultramarine to the blue, a regular green with the green. For the yellow, I'll probably add a little bit of orange to make like a dark yellow. And the pink, I'm going to add a little bit of red to this. And then I'm going to do a strip of white in the same size as these, and I'm going to make skinner blends out of all of these. So I just want to show you the color that I'm using. Hopefully you have them. Go ahead and cut out some squares so you can play along with me. So if you just need a little bit more understanding on what I'm doing, let me grab some white here really quick, and I'll show you how we're going to make the skinner blends. I've got a ton of cutters around me. Been making cutters all weekend, and so you might see one pop into view because they're dropping from everywhere. Hopefully maybe I can show you some of the new stuff a little later. Okay, so basically I'm using a 2-inch square, and I'm going to mix white with each one of these colors. So in order to get my skinner blend, I will put the white on top of the mauve, for example, and I'm just going to cut it into not a straight triangle, just kind of like in the middle somewhere, like that. And then you're just going to place them right next to each other, so you got kind of like a diagonal. Okay, so that is our mauve and white, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to put it through the pasta machine. When you do your skinner blends, you want to make sure all your colors are on top. If you do it this way, you're going to make it wrong. So always make sure, which side do I put it in? The side where you have all the colors on the top strip, okay, instead of just one color. So you do that, and you're going to go straight down, okay, just like that. And then you're going to fold it back up, and you're going to do it again, constantly making sure that you have those two colors on top, and then you'll never go wrong. Just put it back in like this, and you're going to continue doing that until the purple and the white blend, and then there'll usually be like a lighter color in between. So I'm going to do that for all these colors. I'm going to wait on mixing these for now. We'll do that together, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we are back, and here's all of our colors into skinner blends. Now you get to decide whether you want to roll these up into like a jelly roll, or if you want to do a fan fold on them. So me, I like to look around at them, and I think this one is going to be a jelly roll, but I want to put something in the middle of this. So I am going to take just a little bit of green, and I'm going to get some regular green here. Not much, just a tiny bit. And I'm probably going to use more green in this. I'm just going to put like just a smidget of it in there. And we're going to put it through the pasta machine. And hopefully get a nice darker green on it. Ooh, and this is an interesting color. Putting regular green with a pale green kind of gave me an apple green at first. Okay, so there's that right there. I'm going to go a little bit more. So I'm trying to add some contrast so it doesn't all blend together. So I'm hoping this will work. Okay, so it's more of like an apple green. And on this, I'm just going to roll it into a log. I know I've got a lot of stuff on my table here. Okay, we're just going to roll that so that it fits all the way across it. Okay, and then we're just going to roll that up, kind of like a burrito. Okay, and that's going to be our green. Okay, so I'm going to set that right there. On the yellow, I'm going to make a fan fold. Because this may end up being like a little petal. And as you can see, I don't get these perfect. As long as I got it close. Okay. I'm going to do same on our purple. Okay. And then what do I want to do with the pink here? I don't want to do a red. Let me grab some of this. Okay, so this one we're going to do a fan fold too. You can do it any way you want. Okay, and then on the blue, we're going to take some ultramarine and we're just going to darken this a little bit. And I'm going to leave these out just in case I like it enough to where I want to use more. So I'm going to do the same and roll that up with the darker blue down the middle. And then on each of these, I'm going to end up covering them with a darker color too. Well, that didn't do a whole lot. Grab a little more blue here. Go a little darker. Actually, I'm going to put all of that in there. What I don't use, I will use on the outside of it. Okay, so it's not really dark. And there are my lovely dogs. Sorry. Let me hit pause until they're done. Alrighty. I have no idea what they bark at half of the time. Okay, so we have our two, our blue and our green. Now we just need the yellow, the pink, and the mauve. So on these, we're going to this one, I'm going to make it into kind of a, oh, I know what I'm trying to say. I just lost it. Like a leaf. So I'm going to take some of this purple here, and I'm going to run it through the machine at a number 4. And I'm going to put it on the very top of the mauve like this. And let it fold over, or should I put it on the side? Okay, we're going to put it on the side. And then we'll put purple all the way around it. And I'll show you why. Actually, I only need one. Okay. And we're going to make this into a triangle. Pretty sure you know where I'm going now. So we're all feeling good on this end. A little bit of a cough. That's about the only thing that is lingering. But we finally feel human and pretty much back to normal, so that's always a good thing. It's never fun being sick in the first place. Alright, so I want to just cut this in half. Okay. Now we're going to do one more purple here. It's fairly thin, so there. Okay. So if you want to start that out at a number 3, you can. I did what did I do? I did a 4. Might have been a little too thin, but we'll see what happens when we keep reducing this. We're going to do this about 4 or 5 times to get that piece nice and thin. Okay, and then we're just going to keep cutting back and forth. I still have not bought new blades, and I really need to. All I have are my really long ones, and they're not that sharp. Okay, so I think maybe one more should be good enough. Okay, so I'm going to just look at this. Okay, so see how it's starting to get a little cloudy. So we're going to do one more. Not one more cut. We're just going to put this together, and I'm going to get it to 3 inches and leave it alone. So I'm kind of pushing in on the sides to make it a little more round. Now we just want 2 nice even pieces here. I went a little longer than 3 inches. And we're going to cut that in half. Okay, so those are that. Now with the yellow, I'm going to do the same. Oh, you know what? I did mess up there because I wanted to cover these with the darker one, so I'm going to do that now before I forget. So I just took some of that mauve and added some purple to it. So I'm just afraid that you're not going to really see it. A little darker, so I got just a little more purple on the table, so I'm going to use all of it. And because these are small and I'm not reducing it, I'm going to make the outside at a number 5. Okay, so this hopefully will get it to stand out a little better. Okay, so that's one. And now I will make sure on all the other ones that I don't forget to do that. Okay. That's number 2. Okay, so now we're going to move that over. So we have those two. These we're going to roll into 3 inches. And we'll make 2 of these. Now I don't know if I'm going to make it as a kaleidoscope or just leave it in a square. So as I start moving a little farther along, I'll start looking at how well it looks and whether I should leave it alone. Okay. So we're going to go 1.5 and 3. These are some extras. Do the same with the green. And I did it again, didn't I? Oh, I'm so good at doing that, aren't I? I just told myself I wouldn't do that until I put the outside on it. And then I completely did it again. So again, we're going to do this one out of 5 since it's already where we need it. And then I'm going to stop myself, and I'm going to do this green before I do anything else. Or I will forget and do it again. Hopefully I got enough because I really don't want to have to cut out a little bit more for this. Not quite, but we'll get there. Just going to take this little piece, fold it right in half. Okay, and we're just going to add a little bit there and a little there. Okay. So that's our blue. And our green, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add just some regular green to it. all my leftover colors. I am going to make a makumigani out of this. I've never done that with spring colors, so I think that might be really fun to try. Okay, see this piece right here? Nope, thought it would be enough. This will right there. Okay, and as you can see, I'm not really worried about how perfect it is, because you won't even see it when it's all said and done. Okay, so we're going to do this to 3 inches as well. I just dropped my blade, so I have an old, horrible one right here that I'm going to use. Okay, so now I have the green. So on the pink, I'm going to get some, I don't know if I want to get mauve or get some fuchsia. A little bit of white in there. All right, hold on a second. Alrighty, so I got some fuchsia and I'm adding just a little bit of white to it so it's not so in your face, but still brighter than that pink. It's kind of going to give me a hot pink here. I'm not really into, I love pastels. I'm just not really into them with canes. It just seemed really bright. And since I normally make jewelry, I always seem to stay with the subtle colors. Unless it's blue. If it's blue or purple, then I seem to go a little brighter. Okay, so now we have this as a kind of a triangle. And I'm basically just going to open it up in the middle. And I don't know where I want to put this one, but I'm going to make this at a number 3. Because I still have to cut it down a little bit. Okay, so I got to get me a better knife, because if you can see, I'm not quite centered. Wow, and that baby just stuck to that really easy, didn't it? All right. There's an older one, but maybe it'll be a little sharper than those big ones right there. So the goal is to try and get it down at the center. So I want to go all the way down. And I'm just going to kind of connect it right there. That's a little more centered than the other one was. Okay. And I'm going to do the same with the yellow. I'm going to add orange into the yellow, because you do not want to add black to yellow. To make it darker, you'll end up getting like a bronze color. Okay, so now we're going to take this, and we're going to add a lot more white. And we're going to cover that in a number 5. almost there. So we're going to put that where it's missing, which is right there. All right. Okay, so now we're going to take this 3 inches too. Actually, this one's bigger than the yellow, so I think I'm going to take this to 4.5 inches and cut 3 pieces from this one. And then I got to decide whether we want a little bit of elements in here to kind of offset it a little bit. I'm not quite sure yet. Almost there. Okay, so we're going to kind of round this up as we pull it. So we need 4.5. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. It's got to go a little farther. Okay. So now I'm going to cut it in 3s. Okay. So as you can tell, you make quite a bit just by doing that. So now we have some yellow. And we're going to add some orange. And that should give us a dark yellow. Kind of like a peach. Okay, and on this one, again, we're going to make this into a triangle. Okay, and on this one, we're going to do the same that we did with the mauve. We're going to go halfway down though on this one. So we'll start from there. We're going to go around the top. And we're going to come off like that. And that was at a number 3. Okay, and we're going to cut this right in half. I'm going to press this together and we're going to reduce it, cut, reduce, cut just a few times on this as well. Okay, just by looking at all the colors, it looks like it's going to be really light. So now I got to figure out had to add some contrast in there. I don't really want to add black. I wonder if, is it gray granite I'm thinking of? Might actually look okay. Maybe even some silver. I don't know if I want gold. It just seems a little too much. But I need to put something contrasting into the middle. And I have a feeling we're going to end up going maybe pearl and silver. Green and silver. I don't think yellow and silver will look really good. Okay, so where are we at? We're about 4 inches. Alright, so this is going to be the last time. And actually this made a lot more than I thought, so I might be able to go to 4.5 and get 3 pieces out of this. And then it's time to put it together. Ends are a little bigger. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have all of our colors here. So I like this green. So I'm not sure if I want to go I don't want to do black. That's what I'm trying to avoid. And I mean, gray would go good with pink. Gray will go good with yellow. Gray will go good with green. I'm not sure about the gray and the purple though. But I'm going to go grab some gray granite. Or graphite pearl actually. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed some graphite pearl. And I cut some green out at a number 3 and the graphite pearl at a number 5. We may use more, I'm not quite sure. I don't know how this is going to look. Okay, we're just going to I'm going to roll it at a number 3. It's pretty thick, so I wasn't expecting to go that much. That's okay, right? Because then I won't have to cut it much. Okay, so this is what we got. And on the pink, I'm going to set this up like that. And I'm going to add a blue right in there. And now it's just basically putting everything in. one thing about canes. Is you just start throwing them wherever you want to. I never ever... Why does that look so off? Oh, probably because it's a little bigger than it should be. It should be 3 inches, sorry. I don't really have a place for any of these to go. I just put them in wherever. So I'm going to put some graphite pearl in between this. And on this one I'm doing a number 4. Okay, so I don't know if I want this is where you got to figure out where you want to put this all. I'm so not used to using such light colors. So I still have one more yellow. And I have these. I'm not really sure if I like those. One I'm going to actually flatten. And I think I'm going to get some pearl. Pearl or pink? That is the question right now. Okay, so let me get... Yeah, I know, it looks kind of funky. That's what it's supposed to look like. I think I'm going to make this at a number 3. go 1.5 inches since everything else is 1.5 inches. Okay, and let me grab some pearl, which I'm hoping I have out here. All right, so I got some pearl. We're going to leave the pearl at a number 3 as well. And I want the black to be over the top. So cut just a little bit of that off. And we're going to run it through at a number 1. Hold on, before I roll that up, boy, the ideas come after you have something in your head. I'm going to add another strip of gray to the top of this. I'm just not sure if I have enough cut out here. Okay. So let me make sure that that's not thicker than the other side. It looks okay. Okay, I'm going to run it through again at a number 1. And then I'm going to run it again at a number 2. And then a number 3. Okay, and I'll show you why. We're going to roll this like this, just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to put that right there. And we're kind of going to make a brain cane. In between all of this. Honestly, I have no idea how this is going to look. And I know what I'm trying to do. I'm just having a really hard time figuring out how to do it. Set that right in between those two. Nope, that's not it. Or is it? I don't want that there. So we're going to kind of just squish it in like that. I'm going to put the gray right there. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to just squish it in half. Hopefully you guys are catching what I'm doing. There's no pattern or anything like that. It's just kind of squishing it in there, giving it a couple weird curves. Okay. Now we're going to take one more piece of pearl. Oops, that was white. Nope, that's pearl. Oh, there's white in the pearl. Okay, and I've got this pearl at a number 3. And we're going to bring it to a 5. We're just going to put it on top of the strip that's left. Ooh, that might be a little too dark. Alright, we're going to nix that one. We're just going to leave it alone. Alright, so that's what we got. Yes, it's a little interesting, I will admit. And now, we're going to squish this into a triangle. And I'm going to reduce it. So as soon as it's reduced, I will come right back. Okay, so I've got almost to 5 inches. Yes, I am extremely worried about this. I don't know why. That gray is kind of freaking me out here. But, you know that saying, it is what it is. I can't go off and change it now. So we're at about 4 inches here. Okay, so this is what we got so far. So we're going to do this. Or do I want to butt end it now? Now I'm going to go one more. So I'm going to line all of this together. It's starting to get a little soft. Okay. Push this down into a triangle. Okay, I'm going to get this to another 3 inches, and then we'll figure out if it's going to be a square or if we're just going to leave it alone. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we got it to about 4 inches. So again, we're going to cut right down the middle. Now at this point, you could leave it alone, and that would be your cane. Or if you're like me, you can make it into a square. I do square more than I do the 6-piece. All right, let me cut this end off so that we can get it to match up. As you can see, it's not a perfect triangle. This one for some reason is a little smaller. So we're going to try it this way. Okay, so now we're going to make it into a square. And the way we do that is, as you can see, this is angled down this way. So we want to bring this forward. If it's angled higher towards us, we want to bring it the opposite way. And you're just going to go back and forth, kind of pushing it into a square. Okay. The only problem with the square is you got to make sure that they really line up good. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we're there. We're about 8 inches. We're going to make these 2 inches long. And so what I do usually at this stage is I take the Teresa Salgado, I take her bracelet templates, and I just kind of push them into a square. And I kind of look at where it is on the other side. Okay, make sure that they're all pretty even. And then I do it again on this side, so that hopefully we get a perfect square. Okay, and I think that was a little under 1/4 of an inch. Oh, without doing that. Okay. Yeah, I got a little bit of pink that ended up on that side. I don't know how that happened, but it's okay. So now we're gonna do 2 inches. So we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, and now we are going to put these together, and then you have to decide which way you like them better. Okay, so I've got this one. With the green and the blue would be in the center, which actually I like that. Okay, so it would look like that. Okay, with the green and the blue in there, or you can turn it around and you can have that pink one in the center. I think for me that would be harder to line up, so I'm going to go with the green. So this is where you got to be really careful and line them up as best as you can. This one's a little shorter, so I'm going to just cut that a little bit. And obviously I used the wrong side of the blade. Nice job. Okay, so that one's lined up. And that is lined up. Okay. And this has got the pink on the end. And the yellow and the blue, yellow and the blue. Okay, so this one is lined up. This one's a little short too. Okay, so we're just going to make sure that we got it all lined up perfect. And then we're going to line them up together. Same with this side. Okay. So now we're going to do just a final reduction. I'm not going to go that much, just enough so that it all melds together, and I'll be right back one more time. Alrighty, so we are done. And I hate cutting it in half, but that's usually where I go. But I'm going to be nice today, and I'm just going to cut it right there on the end. And there you go. We have our kind of a spring color. Kind of came out a little more darker than I thought. But I don't mind it, which is a first for me. Now, what do we do with it? That's the hardest part for me, is figuring out how to use my canes. And I only say that because mine are never big enough to make a veneer or something like that. There's some new cutters that I'm working on. And I actually have an idea for this. And of course, I can't find the cutter to use it in. But I see this as a nice little, I don't know, a little design for a hot air balloon. Oh, I have one over here. Okay, so that's the one we're going to use. Okay, I don't know how it's going to look. It might look really dumb. But it might make a really cool pattern. So obviously I'd make 2 of these, but air balloons are nice and patterned. Yeah, so you can't really see it that well. But when I add, I don't think I have the little basket here. Do I? I have the basket, I just don't have the color that I would use. I mean, we could even go green. And this is a really small cutter, so I'm hoping it doesn't stick. It didn't, so I'm shocked. You could even put a little bit of texture on the basket. Would probably look really good. And where's my texture sheet? Okay. And there's our little air balloon. I mean, you can use it for that. You can make a veneer out of it. You could use the pillow cutters that I have, or square cutters, and make it into a pillow. Or you can wrap it around, you know, just a square bead. So I usually make the stuff, but I don't really make too much stuff out of my canes, which I know sounds wrong, because if you're making canes, you should be making something out of them. But a lot of times I just don't. Unless I'm in a really great mood to where I can create, then they usually just sit, literally. And this is really thick, so I'm going to grab some of these thin things here. And obviously I would try and get that whole strip off. So there are a lot of things you can do with them. You can make flat beads, round beads, or a veneer for a book cover, or coasters. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with them. I just have a hard time sometimes to figure out what I want to do after I make them. Okay, so there you go. You got a little bead. And again, like I said, if you want to make a tile, you know, you can get this into a smaller shape, maybe about 1 inch or even 3/4, and then just cut it into tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can use that as a bracelet, and basically it'll be tiles, and just put a couple beads in between and attach the next one. That's normally what I would probably do with that, so that's probably what I'll do with this. And when I decide to do something with it, I will come back and show you what I end up doing. So that's it for tonight. I hope you guys like that. Really quick, I'll show you some of the cutters we got. I don't know how long this video is ending up, so I don't want to waste too much of your time. And I have this big old strip of gold sitting right here, so that's what we're going to do. But anyways, we have our hot air balloon. And no, this isn't the greatest color to use, but it's right here in front of me. I got some hearts. I got some daisies, half daisies. Got a couple mushrooms. I like the mushrooms. I really do like the mushrooms. I got some love. I got a smiley faced sunflower. And I'll pick these all up so you can see them. I got some boho type looking earrings. I've got some Korean finger hearts. And that will actually have a little heart that goes with it. I have a bunny rabbit. Trying to prepare for Easter. I have room for one more. And I think that might be all. Here's the heart for the Korean finger heart. Oh, one more. I have a deer. I have a deer. So we've been quite busy, actually. Oh, and of course, that's the only one that's stuck out of all of them. And that's because the antlers are a little thin. So let's see how good I cut these out. I may not have put that much pressure on all of them, and I didn't. But that's okay. You know me. They're pretty sharp. You just got to learn how to cut. Alright, so let me put this on a tile really quick and I'll show you what we got. Actually, we have more. This is just stuff I was working on earlier. I'll put these a little closer. This one comes with a little teeny... darn it. Let's see if I can find it really quick. This might not be the right one, but let's get that gold again. Okay, and that goes on top right there. We have this, and if you want, you can use that like that. You got your finger heart. Your bunny, which I just accidentally cut into. The love. The mushroom. The heart. And the basket I had, and I don't have it now. But anyways, oh, maybe that's it. Nope, it's not. But as you saw, there was a little basket that went with the hot air balloon. Okay, so I'll show you what we got. So everything is up. I don't think this one's up yet. I know the bunny isn't. It will be tonight. That's up. I think that's up. I don't have the love up there. I think I have that. I don't have the mushroom. So I got a lot of listing to do tonight. So just want to show you some of that. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you in a couple days. Bye.